State will get the victory 71-55. They outscore Colorado State by 30.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. You know what we love? Going hard in the paint. And we love an Aztec basketball victory. First half was tough, man. Let's just be honest. They were shooting lights out, and we just couldn't make anything. And then it flipped. Down by 14.5, win by 16. 30-point swing is pretty wild. 11 points in the second half. That's crazy. That's unheard of. But they all played well, man. Jaden came out crazy in the second half, played well. Darian played well. Jay Powell had some big offensive rebounds. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and they finished great. Big win. Had to have it. Got it. We control our own destiny. On to New Mexico. Big game Friday. Let's go. Aztecs.
Two nights ago, the SDSU men's basketball team defeated the Colorado State Rams 71-55 in front of a very loud Viejas Arena crowd. The Aztecs overcame a 14-point halftime deficit, outscoring the Rams 40-11 in the second half, powered by Jaden Ledie's 27 points in just 27 minutes, and Lamont Butler's first ever double-double of 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 steals. Can't forget that. Coach Brian Dutcher's team now boasts a 19-6 overall record, 8-4 in the Mountain West play, undefeated at home this season. And Friday night, it's a blackout when the Aztecs get another chance at redemption when they host a rival and team just above us in the Mountain West standings. There will be no love lost when the hated New Mexico Lobos come to Viejas Arena. What's going on, Aztec Nation? This is the Sons of Montezuma podcast. I'm your host, Mateo. You can find me at Mateo San Diego. And of course, us at Sons of Monty on Twitter, Sons of Montezuma on Spotify if you want to listen to the audio version later, and Instagram, all that good stuff. I am joined with my regular co-host. It's great to see you guys. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. What's going on, SD Sports Fiend? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Can I get some more of that second half of Colorado State? I just want to live in that. You know, that was just amazing to be there at Viejas Arena. It was a magical second half, man. That's all I can say, man. It was just blew my mind.
Man, unbelievable, unreal. I loved the Hard in the Paint episode that Mr. Mike Tortolot brought to us the other day. It was pretty awesome. I think it perfectly encapsulated what we were feeling in the second half. Mike, how are you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good, guys. What's happening, dude? Big game tomorrow.
Big game. Big game. It's a big game Friday. Big game Friday. Everybody knows the Aztecs won 71-55, as we read in the opening. And before we get any further, you know, everybody, thank you for coming in on the YouTube live, for joining us. It's great to see all you familiar names going up. But you know what? You know what we did this past week other than win? Well, we dropped a new NIL team member, the one and only Mr. Reese Waters. You guys can find his merch. His collection is live right now. Our fourth team member from the team, along with Jaden Ledee, Lamont Butler, of course, Mr. Micah Parrish. Reese Waters joins the team. So this we had to release it on game day, and I was like, man, I was like working till the very end. So I didn't get to the game at Viejas until like a couple minutes passed by, and I get there and we're down like, I don't know what it was, like 14 to like 5 or 3 or something like that. As soon as I got in the arena, I run into Mr. Phil Scott up at the top. I had my my glizzy and my nachos and my beverage, and I'm like trying to get to my seat, and I run into Mr. Phil Scott, and I looked at him like, what is going on here? What were you guys thinking in that first half, Fiend? I know you sit up there at the top with me there in the arena, around the area, when we got crawled, pretty much dug ourselves into like a huge deficit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the 6 o'clock game didn't help. I mean, the fans weren't there really in time. It just, the energy felt kind of flat to start. The team played flat, And then Colorado State was hitting every single shot. I mean, they were taking shots well beyond NBA 3-point range and nailing them, and it just one after another and after another. And it just seems like we just fall into these big holes to start the game, you know. And so yeah, it was really disappointing. And I'll be honest, like at halftime, I mean, I started thinking to myself, man, I may have to take another day off of work on a Wednesday of the Mountain West tournament to go watch the Aztecs play. I'm like, I'm not sure if we're going to be a top 5 seed in the Mountain West this year. So that was kind of what was going through my head, just based off of how they were playing. No energy. Nothing was working that first half.
I mean, when Jay got that second foul, I think that was like right after I got my seat, and I'm like, oh man, this could get really, really, really bad. And the offense wasn't able to do much without him. Mike, you're watching on TV from East Tahoe. What was going through your mind, man? Especially when Jay got that second foul.
Shit. You know, I was like, damn, man. All right, here we go again. Same story, different location. So, you know, I just it was like I said in that clip, man, tale of two halves. So at the beginning, I was like, damn, man. Like, and then Fiend texts us. He's like, we got to score like 45 points, and they got to go like cold to win, and he called it. You know what I mean? So, it was two different teams, dude. Both teams were two different teams in the second half. So, part of a champion.
I love what I heard. What was it yesterday on the radio? Darren Smith, he was talking about that was a championship type of a win for a team to be down by 14 at the half and to make that comeback. It was just such a turn of a switch, right? Which I mean, you hate to see that. You hate to come out so flat. But really, did they come out flat, guys, or was Colorado State just really knocking down the shots? I mean, you guys saw it more than I did in that first half.
I think we had like 3 points through like what 6 minutes or 5 minutes, something like that. I mean, we weren't putting the ball in the hoop, and they were shooting everything. So it was it was really a sad performance that first half, and I just want to know. I really want to know what was said in that locker room at halftime. And, you know, on that Darren Smith show with Coach V, the assistant coach, you know, he couldn't say exactly what was said. He said it wasn't appropriate for radio, but the team got the message. And you could tell when they hit the floor in the second half, it was a whole different team on the floor. Just the energy. I mean, you saw guys. A guy like Darian Shamel, you know, I watched him play against Nevada and just pretty much give up a offensive rebound. Daniel Foster, I mean, didn't really even put up a fight. That dude in the second half of the game was flying for rebounds. I have seen him jump like I've never seen him before. Jump up in the air to get a rebound. Like the energy, the hunger to grab the ball, to go after loose balls, and they just wanted it so badly. And so that's why I'd really like to know what was said in that locker room, man. What was that message? But that was championship level Aztecs at its finest.
I think that's one of the things I love about Dutch is that intensity. You know, I know he brings it with him, but I love that interview with Coach Velasquez because he really kind of tipped into a little bit of how Coach Dutch operates and really just knowing the team at this point. He was saying at this point, you're really knowing this team, when to push the right buttons, when to allow them to figure it out on their own, and then when you need to step in and, okay, like we need to hold you guys to another standard as far as all those little things like what you're saying, Fiend, whether it's boxing out, hustling back in transition, just all those little things, all those rebounds, Mike, all those rebounds, Jay Powell, whether it was Micah Parrish, whether it was Waters. I mean, Lamont had his first double-double, as we read in the opening monologue. He had his first double-double with 10 rebounds, which is impressive. I'm reading through the comments, and I like what I'm seeing. T-Mac, I knew they couldn't keep up shooting all game. I posted in the Facebook group that I was not worried. And I kind of share that sentiment. One of the things that Fiend said in the beginning of the year, Colorado State, they're Charmin soft. I'm not necessarily going to call them Charmin soft, but, this game kind of did validate a little bit of that. They don't necessarily have those post players, that post presence that we're going to face with some of the other guys in the Mountain West. So for the ability for the rest of the team, the rest of the Aztecs to step up and flex a little bit at home, I was very proud to see that. And I think that was probably the message at halftime that was delivered. Like, you can't let these guys punk you. Come on, at halftime. No, look at the score. You're not letting these Colorado State Charmin soft Rams punk you. So, hey, what do you think, Mike? What do you think was said in that locker room at halftime?
I mean, I think we kind of have an idea. We don't know the specifics of the language, but we have an idea. I don't know if that. I would say that's a game you have to win a championship, but I wouldn't say that's a championship performance personally, because they were not great in the first half. That's one half of basketball. So I haven't seen one team deviate from the other teams in the conference to say this is the team that's going to win the championship. It could be a bounce of a ball here, a bounce of a ball there. If they play like that, against New Mexico and against Utah State, then yeah, we got something. But let's not stand on ceremony here and say, hey, one half this is a championship team. No, not yet, dude. We're working there. We're getting better. But let's calm down, right? So they had to do what they needed to do in the second half to win that game. They came out like a different team than I've seen all year. And they shut CSU down. This is the team we knew they could be when they want to be it. You know what I mean? So that's not to denigrate what they did, but like let's not get too excited here, because you have a really good New Mexico team coming in that we need to beat. We need to beat New Mexico to be 1-1 against them. We need to beat Boise State to be 1-1 against them. We're 1-1 against Colorado State, 1-1 against who's the other team I was thinking about? Nevada,
Boise,
right? At Colorado State, but we haven't played Boise twice. So we got to beat New Mexico to get 1-1 against them. This could be where everybody's 1-1 against each other. So it was a great second half, great ball. I mean, I was excited to see that. It was unbelievable. 44 points and 12 turnovers is pretty crazy to have. You know what I mean? So let's hopefully this trickles into the New Mexico game, because the next two games are freaking really difficult, man. So I'm glad everyone's excited, but you don't want to get so high you're in the clouds and so low the ants can piss on you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just being honest with you, dude.
I agree.
Take by Mike Tortor.
I'm just realistic. You're a homer, bro. Everything is great. Everything's rosy. I'm just like, dude, let's just be honest. Dude, we're still in third place. We haven't done anything yet.
Dang, Homer talk. Oh, Homer talk. Okay, before we get into a little bit of retort
from
I see. Mike Tortolot's retorts. A super chat we got here. T-Mac, thank you so much. Our super chats are open for anybody who wants to ask a question or has a comment on the screen. T-Mac, what offended me most was all the talk about Isaiah Stevens running away with player of the conference. Did you see Ladie stuff him on one-on-one? I did see that, and I did go back and watch the game right afterwards. And yeah, I don't remember who was there. I know Avery Johnson was one of the commentators. I love Avery Johnson. I love listening to Avery Johnson. He's got all those like country idioms and all the little sayings that from the South. I love that. But I can't remember the former player. It seemed like he was a younger cat. Yeah, he was a younger cat. He sat in there, right? I mean, just like you would have thought he was Colorado State's play-by-play guy, because I mean he was just giving Isaiah Stevens like all kind of love.
Hey, good for him. Congratulations.
Fiend, what did you think about Isaiah Stevens though? Because I mean that first half, okay, the second half, 11 points. Come on, you cannot win player of the conference and suffer a defeat like that. 11 points.
Yeah, thanks for the support, team. I appreciate it. He got shut out. He got shut out in the second half. Stevens, he didn't score a point, and so, and that block that Ladie had on him. I mean, it wasn't just a one-handed block; it was a two-hand stuff. Like, I'm surprised he didn't just snatch that ball out of midair from Stevens, and leave him on the floor. It was a beautiful block. And so, I think if you're a voter and you look at that and you see those head-to-head matchups and you see Jaden Ledee punking Isaiah Stevens like that, I mean, you got to give the nod to Jaden Ledee, I think, in the Player of the Year race for the Mountain West, Player of the Year. But I think both of them are like Wooden Award finalists or semifinalists, so they're both in the running for that. But yeah, it was great for us to come out and hold him to a big goose egg in the second half there, and 11 points. I don't think I've ever seen that from an Aztec team. Have we ever held anyone to 11 points in the second half ever?
No, but we got held to 9 points in Wyoming one year in 2015.
Thanks for pointing that out. I can't remember who pointed that out on Twitter. They were like, "No, but we got held to 9." I remember that game.
I remember that.
against
That was
Wyoming.
Winston. That was oof.
Yeah.
It was probably
good
like
memories.
a 43 to like 39 finish,
Emotional damage.
Let's forget about that one. Let's forget about that. Thank you, T-Mac. Yeah. Hey, man. Isaiah Stevens found himself on Lamar Island. And I mean, Lamar Butler had an amazing game, man. I mean, just a double-double. He was all over the place. He was, Mr. Consistent. Gotta love it. Mid-range, all that. Okay. Let's see. Now, we also, if you guys have been watching, you guys know that we do have one of our good friends, Mr. Aztec Flavor Guy. Mr. Aztec Flavor Guy Fieri from the show. How are you doing, man? I see you had a point because this game was a ton of free throws and we were knocking them. A lot of them were knocking down. I don't want to get into New Mexico just yet, but kind of transitioning into that, tell us, what do you think about that home cooking? And,
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I mean, people say tale of two halves, but I was the same thing as you guys were saying is in the comments and everything is I was going first half, and then halftime I messaged my friend. I'm like, we're not getting a bye, We're like, this is like we're at 5 losses now. Everybody else is at 4, and then out of all the remaining games, we lose at least one. Let's say Utah State or something, right? And then we're gonna be at 6 losses, and everybody else is gonna be at like 5 or 6 and have the head-to-head on us. There's no way. So God, I'm glad to be wrong, but yeah, they started hitting all those threes, and I figured, okay, well, we're gonna lose, but maybe it'll average out and they'll start missing some. But who cares? And we had that little run. I think it was like a 7-0 run at the start of the half, and I was like, maybe, and then they just kind of stopped it, and I was like, well, and then once they got to, I think it was 10 or 12, then I really thought that I was like, okay, well, we'll see if we can get something. It's kind of amazing the energy, because I know it was a Tuesday at 6 game, and that sucked, and I had to like dip out early and race over and everything, but that the energy in the beginning, even a little later into the game, it was okay, sure, whatever. And then when we got down by 10, then it's like everybody's crazy, So
yeah.
I wish we had that the whole game, but I'm glad we had it the second half.
Yeah, that second half was electric, man. I mean, hats off to that's probably one of the loudest I've heard at Viejas since I've been going to games there. I mean, it was loud. I mean, hey, we've been to a couple of venues now on the road, right? We've been to Reno. We've been to the pit.
And at an instant, sometimes it takes some time to build up, but it was like day and night. It was like a light switch where they just loud. Like all of a sudden, everyone's just loud,
I mean, the pit's a pretty intimidating environment, but I gotta say that it was louder in Viejas than it was when we visited the pit.
You think so? So?
I think so. Yeah, I do. It was it was crazy. I mean, the Colorado State players, it was like they were seeing ghosts out there on the court.
Stevens kept missing. And
there
that's
was a lid
the crazy thing.
on
At the beginning,
basket,
everybody made a 3. Like every single player on their team just made a 3. And then they all just missed, and then Stevens missed.
In the first half, yes. But I'm talking about in the second half.
Yeah.
They were seeing ghosts on the floor. They were shook.
And I was like expecting Stevens to miss every shot in the end. Like after he missed so many, I was like, for once, I'm not expecting the ball to go in. Now I'm expecting it to go out.
They had wide open looks and they were just missing them. And I'm telling you, they were just shook. The crowd was on them. Our players were hounding them. I mean, it just seemed like they were rattled.
And if they scored a normal amount of points and we scored 41, we would have lost. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
That's what I
very much
tweeted out.
defense,
It was gonna take an incredible second half performance, and that's exactly what happened. Exactly what the boys came out and did. I think when Ladie landed on what's that guy's name? He landed on his foot.
Cartier.
Cartier. How can you forget that name? Cartier. Once he landed on his foot, I think Mike said it. Once Cartier went out, man, he was a good player for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a brutal game. Like from their perspective, not just being up so much, but then he gets injured and then fouled out, and other guys fouled out, and then the technical, and then they were like at the end of the game, they're like, start the bus, and I'm like, guys, it's over, it's all right. They're like, start the bus.
I'm sure the show was having fun.
And he said, you just, you didn't want to just come back. You decided to blow them out. And I messaged him. I said, if we win by 15, I'm disappointed. We better not win by only 15,
If someone had told me at the start of the second half that, hey, we're going to get our subs in the game, I'd have been like, yeah, you're absolutely right, because we're going out, right? I mean, but we got our subs in the game because we were blowing them out. That's just crazy.
So, Mike, we probably don't think that this is one of the top victories at Viejas. I know we kind of had that discussion. Was this one of the like most incredible victories that we've seen at Viejas? I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think it was one of the more important games, but definitely one of the most memorable games that I could think of. Just because that pendulum just swung completely in the other direction, like you said, went upside down.
I mean, I guess it takes how do you define what is it the best win, the greatest win, whatever. I still think the 1-3-1 is the best win. I mean, this is definitely up there. I mean, when we beat Oklahoma State with Al Fox hitting all those threes to kind of, I don't know if you want to put us on the map, but that was electric. I was before these two guys' time. I think Matt might have been there, but like those were. I mean, the Jimmer games when he came down when we were 3 or 4 and they were 4 or 5 or whatever, even though we lost them. That to me was the most electric arena I've ever been in from start to finish, basketball wise. So, but win wise, the 1-3-1, this is right up there. The Oklahoma State win. I would say probably one of those NIT wins. Remember when Tony Bland hit that half court shot I think it was to send it to overtime or something like that. He hit a half quarter to send it overtime. So there's quite a few, but I think this is probably, you kind of lose sight of long-term, 10, 12, 13, 14 years ago. But I mean, this is definitely in discussion for one of the greatest wins in Viejas history.
I got a recency bias, but Flynn year Utah State game was pretty crazy. I mean, it's not like it was, with 1 second left, you didn't know who wins or anything, and it wasn't championship or anything, but that was electric in terms of an environment. I remember
Jersey retirement night.
Yeah, and then I remember when we played Nevada when they were really good at the end of the year in 2016 or something like that. That was pretty
2018,
crazy. Yeah. I was at that. Yeah. I think the New Mexico game everybody talks about too, but again, recency bias here. But
yeah.
So the thing I'm interested in seeing is how does this affect us? How does this affect Colorado State?
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect a Colorado State team mentally that comes in, plays lights out, had won, I don't know, 3 or 4 in a row, I think, if memory serves.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And New Mexico's won a lot on the road. Not to skip ahead too much.
But this game for Colorado State, how is this going to affect them moving forward? Because they have Utah State at home Saturday.
Yeah,
that is going to be interesting. This is a mental. This is either going to be a kick in the butt or extreme mental masturbation for them. You know what I mean? I don't know which one it is. And
they had the Wyoming game too. So we've seen that.
It's relentless, man. So we got to focus on New Mexico, because if we beat them, we jump ahead of them, I think. And obviously we do because they have one more loss. But I mean, I think we got to win out to win the conference.
I think you hit it on the head. It's a mentality thing, right? I mean, we were there in Reno for that loss. It was a last possession loss. That's a tough way to lose, man. It's an emotional thing. Then you got to come home. You got to get up for this game. Your back's against the wall. You got to defend home court. And they just came out flat. So now off of this, trouncing in the second half, Now you know you're ready for New Mexico. Okay, well, how are we going to respond to that? How is the mentality going to be? Everybody's. I don't want to say it was a trap game because it definitely wasn't a trap game. I mean, Colorado State's legit. We're all neck and neck in these standings, but it's a different energy. It's a different energy when New Mexico comes to town with all the history. They are a rival without a doubt. The first comment in the chat tonight, I'm looking at Larry Joe. I have so much built up energy for the game right now. It's a big game for the conference and for bragging rights against the Lobos. Need to hold our own on our home court. Can't have a slow start. That's the very first comment in the chat tonight. That's what people are
after
for.
that game at the pit. I'm telling everybody, like, I'm going to remember that. Like, I don't, I'm not going to say, oh, at Colorado State or at Boise State, losses or GCU or BYU or whatever. But like, ask me in 30 years, about losing at the pit to that, officiating and whatever else you want to call it. But we'd better hand it to them in Viejas. And also then, of course, last year when we had the loss at home and then the buzzer beater win, it was, a fun sequence last year. But
so much history. Flavor God, we're going to bring you back in just a moment. We'll see you in just another couple of minutes. But guys, it's a big one. It's blackout week, and no doubt, we know New Mexico fans are probably watching this right now, lurking, just because that's just how the bad blood is between us, That you talk about the 1-3-1 game. I mean, Mike, that was for the conference regular season championship, rushing the floor. These are big games. These are games that, we didn't like going into the pit and having all those people looking at me after every bucket they made. You know what I mean? So the fans carry it. The team carries it. It's going to be exciting. Angel says, sweep the leg. Got to sweep the leg. I don't know about all that, but.
So you think New Mexico's our rival right now?
That's a good question. I would say, who is the rival? I know I posed this question before, New Mexico or Utah State.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
to me, it's Boise.
Neck and neck.
To me,
really?
it's Boise.
You think Boise?
Right now, it's Boise. They have our number.
I don't know about
they have our
that.
number. Well, I think I'm going to go back in the stats. I think they have our number right now. They're the only team really that has our number. So to me, that is our rival right now. But like we've talked about in the past, it was UNLV for a while, and then Utah State when Sam Merrill was there, and Nevada when the Martin brothers were there. So we don't have like a proper continuous rival. For the most part, it switches every couple of years. It seems like, So to me personally, I think it's Boise right now.
Okay, Fiend, you got any thoughts on that?
I mean, it's got to be Utah State right now because we played them so many times in the championship game. I mean, I think historically our rivals have been UNLV, BYU, New Mexico, but we just haven't faced them in the conference tournament, title game like we have Utah State. And so I think that is who the rival is right now. Plus, how much I hate those fans. So I feel like they're the rival, but whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll save that debate for another time, or maybe in just a few moments. Because right now, everybody, we kind of teased it on Twitter and all that good stuff. But our NIL shop is open. You guys know that all of our gear is 10% off using promo code MONTY Monty for all of our regular Sons of Monty gear. Of course, our NIL gear. We got posters, hats, t-shirts, all the good apparel, and of course, we know that Reese Waters, we just added him to the NIL team. But we tried to tease it a little earlier today because, everybody wants to know. NIL is always a big topic of conversation. And so without further ado, we do want to bring in a very special guest making his second appearance on the Sons of Montezuma podcast, a good friend of ours, and of course, the founder and president of the MESA Foundation. It is Mr. Jeff Smith. He's been so gracious to join us for a few moments. Jeff, what's going on? Say hello to Aztec Nation.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, Jeff.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Nice.
How's it going, Jeff?
Nice to meet you.
Going good, guys. Going real good.
Well, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this weekend because, I am a MESA Foundation member. And I think what's going on this weekend. We get to go to a practice. I'm talking about practice. We get to be at a practice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in our second year of doing this, trying to ramp up the events that we're able to offer the members, and we've had a few of them. We had a day at the track at Del Mar where the players and the coaches all hung out. We had it's called the Top of the Key event we had at the University Club downtown, which was effectively the ring ceremony for last year's commemorative ring. I got one here somewhere. I should have brought it on with me and shown it. That was an amazing night. Another one of those where former players, current players, everybody got together and it was unbelievable. And then the practice is awesome because for those that haven't had a chance to be behind the scenes when the coaches are doing what they do to prepare for all these games, it's a really cool, unique thing. And I can tell I've been in a lot of them. They don't hold back. You get to see the response and the preparation in real time. You get to see the way that Dutch manages his staff, really lets them do their thing. I think one of the best signs of a great leader is surrounding himself with the kind of assistant coaches that Brian's had over there, and you'll see it firsthand on Sunday, man. It's a really, really cool thing. And then, because it's so much about family in Aztec Nation and so much about family for us and our priority with MESA, we're going to have a 3-point contest for the fans that show up, and winners going to have a couple categories. We'll have a under 18 category, so don't try to cheat and get into that younger category. Although we may have some high school sharpshooters there, who knows? And then we'll have an adult category, and the winners of both those things will get to shoot against one or a few of the players at the end of practice. So it's going to be a cool day.
I don't know if I can get by for an 18-year-old, but once they see Fiend's jump shot, man, I don't know. They might ask if he's got any eligibility left, maybe.
Hey, man, I was killing it at the Final Four when they had the hoops out there for the Fan Fest. I was draining those threes. So, yeah, I'm all in.
Well, you can always use a 3-point shooter, man. So, yeah, we're jacked up. It's been a high priority, as I said earlier, to try to make the decision to join MESA, the decision to support our effort, our NIL campaign with the basketball program, to make it something that you get something for deciding to recognize the necessity to step up financially. I know you guys are doing a lot with the players, and there aren't any bigger fans than you all and the folks that support Sons of Montezuma. But it's a decision. It's an active decision now to recognize that you got to be a part of NIL. It is absolutely no joke, and there's no denying the fact that if we don't have a really, really good, solid answer to this thing, that, as much as we love being Aztecs and we love being in San Diego, there's a lot of good places for a college basketball player to decide to go play hoops. Yeah. And we want to do whatever we can to not give them an excuse to make a decision to go play elsewhere.
No doubt, no doubt.
It's kind of hard as a fan seeing us come off this Final Four run, and you see a player get into like a really small car that's way smaller than it should be, and they got to tilt their head to drive away, or they got to get a ride from someone else because they can't afford a car, and at other universities, top universities that are competing each year for Sweet 16s, Elite Eights, Final Fours, those amenities are available to those players through NIL. And so, yeah, the reality is we need to step up our game if we're going to continue to win at the championship level that we all want to see this team win at. And so I think here, us at Sons of Montezuma, we recognize that, and we want to be a part of that. We want to be a part of growing that and that success on on the court, but also off the court as well.
Totally. Yeah. No, I've got absolutely no doubt that part of the reason why. Well, we got a huge fan base, as you guys know, and prior to NIL showing up, you guys were doing your thing, and it's only really kind of been a subject of concern and focus for the last, really 1.5 to 2 years, even though it's, I guess, almost 3 years old. I think whenever I get a chance to talk to anybody, whether it's, you guys or somebody on the radio or somebody at a game or at an event that we might be holding, or it's something that that San Diego State allows us to go speak at. They become a better partner, taking their time. Understandably, took a super measured approach to making sure that that they understood what MESA was doing, what other folks were doing. They've got compliance and other things. They got to run an organization, but anytime I get a chance to talk to anybody about, NIL, it's really about, describing the fact that things have just changed. And, if you consider yourself, and this is my opinion, and I think you guys probably share the same opinion, if you consider yourself a fan, whether you like it or not, whether you'd like to stick it back in a box or a time machine or whatever or not, I happen to think that there are a lot of good things that come with NIL for these student athletes. To your point, people don't totally understand the circumstances and demands of being a student athlete, particularly at a competitive school. That said, a lot of people kind of think, look, these guys are and women are scholarship athletes. They've got an opportunity that others don't get in being able to play a sport and having their school paid for. And that's true. But the other part of the truth is now that NIL is part of the competitive landscape. And if you're a fan of Aztec basketball, then you really can't look the other way, and that's just a fact, And so what we're trying to do in a lot of ways is what you guys are doing, which is to make it not about, we have a lot of folks. We had a ceremony at the last game where Saquon was honored for being one of our corporate partners, and that's an amazing thing. It's really, really cool that they decided that they were willing to attach their name to MESA. I think that says a lot. They've got an amazing reputation, and having their name in the room is from a credibility standpoint, is a big thing to be able to connect us to. But it's not really about the bigger donations. It's not really about all these other things. It's about whatever any individual fan can do, still a little bit, you get something for it, which is great. You get to be connected to the team that you love and you support. You get to come to practices. Sunday is going to be cool. Anybody that was at the U Club event, if you guys had a chance to talk to any of those people, and I heard this from family members of the staff, of the coaches, the players, by far the coolest event that they've ever been a part of for basketball. Took what would be a kind of an ordinary, and not to say that the banquets aren't a good thing to go attend, but took that and went to a whole different level of connection and family and involvement. And the people that were there, we had Uncle Teddy Leitner up there as a master of ceremonies, doing his thing, getting off topic, staying on topic, just being Ted. It's just about stepping up and being part of the thing. And what we want to do is to make the entry point super, super reasonable, and that's memberships that start as little as $20 a month. We've got some really, really bitchin' corporate partnership stuff that you guys know about with Nova Kombucha, the Aztec Kombucha. I don't work for Nova, but I can tell you that, the guy that started Nova is one of the coolest people that anybody will ever have a chance to meet, and just a genuinely good human being who happens to have the most bitchin' sports bars in San Diego. So, go check those out. We want to make that Nova Mission Valley the go-to hangout spot for anybody that wants to watch Aztec basketball because it's worthy of it. You know, it's not just these doing good for hoops, but the place is just cool. Woodstock's Pizza, right? Like everybody knows Woodstock's. They've been around forever. Now they got a pizza that they have titled LFG SDSU. The proceeds go to the MESA Foundation. And so encourage people to go eat at Woodstock's Pizza. You know, we've got a really cool thing coming out with blenders that is just about to drop called March Radness. And he's bringing back one of his original design shades that's going to have a San Diego State very definite flair to it. You're going to see a massive billboard on the 8 near the campus with a handful of the guys, and the sales of those sunglasses go to the MESA Foundation. And all of these things are cool financially, but they're also cool because they're companies that are San Diego focused, San Diego based companies. This is a family thing, you know. They're all coming together going, just like you guys, right? With the t-shirt and all the other stuff that you guys are doing, like we're all coming together to try to get this thing that we all love to be as successful as possible. And then make it really cool for people. Go drink a kombucha or have a piece of pizza or buy a pair of sunglasses. Like it's this full circle family gig that we're really trying to focus in on, you know?
It really is tying together the community, the San Diego community, whether it's the business community, the alumni, the fans, the donors, all that good stuff. I love what you guys are doing. Like what you said, Woodstocks and Novo, and I believe it is also another watch party place you guys have as well.
We got
Dirty Birds, right?
We do Dirty Birds. We got to deal with Dirty Birds. We got to deal with the Sandbox. You know, there's just you know, and
that's great.
Trying to focus in on, you know, balancing, you know, the thing that happens behind the scenes with us, and you know, you guys deal with the players from time to time too. But you know, we got a lot of interaction with the guys and the women's team, but the men's team in particular. And you know, trying to balance back to your earlier point, like, you know, life is a lot different for some for different colleges at Division I programs, and but they are all very, very, very busy, and trying to balance the commitments. There's going to be a meet and greet at the Blenders location in Pacific Beach. I think it's on March 3rd. You know, we had an event at Woodstock's Pizza where the guys were tossing around pizzas and learning how to make pizzas, and, you know, trying to balance the fact that they're students and athletes with all these other things. But more importantly, to the point I was trying to make is, you know, having all these things raise the awareness on the importance of being a part of the thing, not just showing up and watching a game, you know, and caring about what happens on the court. Like, you guys care, man. And there's, if everybody felt like you guys did, man, we'd have the most badass, robust, you know, sustainable NIL program in the country. We just need everybody to just kind of recognize that we like the Aztecs. We're all Aztecs at heart. But, you know, if the product on the court changed, you know, you still root for them, but it wouldn't quite be the same as this kind of, you know, predictably competitive team that we love to come watch. And if we don't do our little part, that predictably competitive team, it won't be a gradual slide. It'll go downhill immediately. Like, if we didn't do what we're doing and you guys didn't do what you're doing, and people don't make conscious decisions to join MESA and be a part of NIL, I can promise you that within the first year to 2 years, that there would be a mass exodus, unfortunately. But it's the truth.
It's the new reality.
Yep.
New reality. Jeff, I got to ask you this question because we do take super chats from our YouTube watchers. T-Mac is a MESA Foundation member and asks, how does the MESA Foundation and NIL support levels compare to other Mountain West Conference and other D1 schools? I know that's a big question, I'm sure.
No, and you know, there's a lot of uncertainty in NIL. You know, there's values attributed to players that aren't necessarily what they're being compensated, but what their market values are. So you get all these numbers that are thrown around, and like even with Keyshot, when he left, numbers all over the place. And I think I have a pretty good sense of what that number was, but there's a range that could have been 50% off in reality from some of the numbers that you heard. So what I will say is I talked to a lot of other folks that are doing what I do, that run the collective at different schools. And we are, right now, I would say, based on our year 2 numbers, we were about 4th in our own conference in terms of the NIL package that existed for the players on average. What I can also tell you is you'd be surprised how many other schools are struggling and getting there. But there are very few industries that any of us could point to that are as new as this one, that are taking off with so many different tangents of businesses that are there to drive and help bolster the success for the schools that are part of those different support services. So our year 1 was about half of what our year 2 was, and it better be twice that going into year 3 or we'll slide. And that's a fact. So I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah, we were really good. We were one of the first ones in our conference to have a collective. Felt really good, but we got caught up too quickly because unlike a lot of other schools, San Diego State's not about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 donors. We're not Miami, we're just not. We are very different than most schools. We're about numbers, strength in numbers, and getting more and more people to jump in.
Yeah. Well, I know personally one of the things that I love about Aztec basketball is that it is probably your best sports entertainment dollar you are going to spend in San Diego. So for the deal that you guys as ticket holders are getting, can also turn those other dollars towards the NIL program, because I mean we really are getting a deal for our tickets. So hey, we appreciate you, Jeff.
We got a couple things that I just want before. I don't know how much time we got, but we are focusing in a big way on more of those deliverables, more of that connection with the team. You're going to see an evolution of what MESA is doing on the social media and content side that will, I think, compel anybody who's an Aztec fan to look at MESA as the place that you have to go to get content that is not going to be like anywhere else. Inside information, we are shoulder to shoulder with the program, right? And even though there has to be a very clear line in the world of NCAA and NIL and collective, that line is changing daily, certainly weekly. And I can tell you that we are 100% aligned with the coaches, the coaching staff, and the program, and the kind of things that are going to start coming out for our members only in the next week to certainly month and going forward are going to be insights into the guys and insights to the day in the life of, and insights to the recruiting trail, and insights to things that you can only consume through MESA. And we hope that means that people, in addition to wanting to come and shoot hoops and go and see a practice and going to the races and doing all those other things, that they aren't going to be able to live without, because it's going to be that kind of info. It's going to be that kind of behind the scenes stuff that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And I know you guys will consume it. And I just hope everybody else just makes a decision to give a little bit, because we got a lot of people out there. We do a lot of people times $20 a month. We don't need those $1 million donors, guys. We just need a lot of people that are just subscribers at small amounts, and we will kick the hell out of the rest of the conference in the country.
Yeah.
Any idea?
I think it's great what you guys are doing. I haven't said much because I'm curious to listen to you, but I think it's great. I think I had a pretty special childhood growing up for some stuff, but I think people like the physical interaction, the moments they get to see players and be in the same room with them and talk to them. I think you can't put a price on that, man. I think people enjoy that, like the racetrack, and hopefully you guys get to go to a Padre game and stuff like that. But I think it's cool getting the community involved. Dirty Birds, Woodstocks, all that stuff is very important, because we've talked about it, and I'm sure you guys have talked about the sustainability of the NIL over and over and over each year, That's the tough part, I think. So the more you guys get involved in the community and do that stuff, I think it's awesome because it just accelerates the chances to continue this going. And I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it really is like, like you. I mean, I've been around the program for a long time and known the coaches for a long time. But I can tell you that when people get to go to our events, I mean, you guys have gotten to know some of the players just because of what you're doing with them, but most people don't know them like that, and they are the coaches, the players are. There's a lot of reasons why we've had the success and we have the kind of program that we do, and it starts with the culture that Fisher and Dutcher brought here. But they somehow do this like unbelievably, almost perfect job of bringing in the right and the same kind of character people. And when you're around the student athletes and you get to talk to them, and they're super appreciative for people. Sunday, the MESA members that are there, they're going to hear a lot of thank yous and personal conversations because that's how they feel. It's part of what they're doing, and they're committed to. The players are committed to making MESA successful. And so the folks that decide to join who already love Aztec basketball get to just, they get the word family it's an easy marketing tool, I suppose. But when you get inside, man, it's really a family. It really is.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that from our end. I mean, everything that you described about the team, the culture, the family environment, and it is special. It's special what we have built here, and so now it's a matter of maintaining it, and we need to maintain that through NIL.
All right, everybody. So if you are watching, you want to definitely check out MESA Foundation SD.org, where the memberships begin at $20 a month. And Jeff, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you big time. One thing I appreciate, you always been willing to communicate and reach out to us anytime, and of course being accepting of our collaboration with Mr. John Schaefer, the John and Jim Show, making our Catapult You shirts, and all the proceeds go directly to the MESA Foundation. So hey, there's multiple ways of giving. You go to Woodstocks, Dirty Birds, go to Novo Brewery. Got you covered. Jeff, appreciate you, man. Yep. Appreciate you. We'll do this again sometime. We'll do this again maybe towards the end of the year.
Love it. All right. Hey, let's go tomorrow night, huh? Blackout.
Yeah.
Big game.
Let's go.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Yep. Bye.
Take care.
Guys, I cannot let this go unnoticed as well. Of course, Sarah says tomorrow's women's game is pink, so please encourage those getting the buzzer beater smoothie. You also got to give a plug for Lamont Butler's buzzer beater smoothie. I believe that said, let's see, where was that at? That is going to be at
Nectar Mission
Valley. Nectar Mission Valley. Yeah, okay, that's not too far from me. The buzzer beater smoothie. And so basically, got to promote that. Go support Lamont and buzzer beater smoothie. Then head over to the Viejas Arena for the noon game, which is the women's team. They're going to be all in pink. And man, they almost pulled it out the other day. I was watching that game, man. It came down to the wire. They're impressive. They're they got a chance. But definitely, thank you, Sarah, for sending us that information, and of course, the buzzer beater smoothie. Might see me again there, Sarah. You never know. Might have to roll through Viejas. Woo-wee. And thank you, Mr. Camacho, for the $5 super sticker as well. Yes, sir, Aztec Nation. All right, guys, how are we feeling? Do we need to get back to talking some on the court action? Because like Mr. Smith says, it's a blackout game. It's gonna be a raucous environment. Mr. House is coming back to Viejas, and we all saw the antics last year. We all saw the antics in the pit this year. Mike, what should people keep an eye out, or what are you keeping an eye out for this game when the Lobos come to town?
How we start and rebounding. Those are the two things I look at. because we haven't started fast the last few games for the most part, and they kind of handled us in rebounding when we were in New Mexico. So those are the two things I'm curious about. House is going to be what House is going to be. I think they're the only team that beat us the last 2 years at home in the conference, right? Last year. So I think they'll remember that. I think that's kind of a motivational thing the coaches are going to say is, hey, these are the only guys that beat you last 2 years at home. You're going to let them do it again? That's kind of how I play. But I don't think they need that motivation. I think they're very astute in what's going to happen. But this is don't fuck around time anymore, dude. Like, not saying they were, but this is legit. Like, dude, if this is what you guys came here to do, is to win championships, and this is the hardest test so far this year, and it's right in front of you, dude. You have a chance to be this way or that way or in the middle of the road, and I'm curious to see how this team reacts to it, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna have guys step up, and this is a big game. I'm glad we have it at home. I think it's tough for them to go from New Mexico to Nevada, back to New Mexico, and then back out to here. It's a lot of travel, like we said, like kind of what we had last week, So start, rebounds, and I think House is going to be interesting. What somebody said in the chat that they think Dent and Maxwell aren't going to play. I knew Dent got a little hurt. I'm curious to see about that, but I'm also a fact. I'd rather beat teams at their full strength, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was bummed when Cartier left.
They're
like,
fine.
No, but like, to me, it's the integrity of the game. It's like, I want to beat you guys at your best. I think all these guys do. If those two guys, we're still going to beat them, right? But it's like, ugh. So that's just me. If you guys want to play, under man, that's cool. But like, for me, it's like, I want to play these guys because, at full strength. Hopefully they're not hurt, but I think we're gonna play well at home after losing them down there.
I think you brought up awesome points, though. After that Colorado State game, you heard Coach Velasquez talking about defense and rebounds. That's what Aztec ball is about. And when I look at New Mexico, okay, Toppin and Joseph, I mean, they're their bigs, but they do a 3-guard lineup, but they do got some talented bigs. Toppin is lead amongst them, I think so, even as a freshman, right? So, I mean, we're going to have to come out with that mentality, like what you're saying, that rebounding mentality. Guys are going to have to really stick to the fundamentals and the mentality. You got to keep your head in the game to box out or just to get position. And, what we saw from Powell on those crucial free throws, I mean, boy, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be there in this game. So it's going to take a total team effort, What are you looking for, Fiend? What are you keeping an eye open for this round 2 matchup?
Yeah, definitely the rebounding was a problem in the first game because Toppin had 16 boards, 9 of them were offensive. So we've got to keep him off the boards. And if a guy like Powell needs to play more minutes to have a chance to do that, then we need to play him more. If Saunders can get in there and rebound, then he needs to be in there. But I agree with you. It's going to take a total team effort. It's not going to be one guy. It's not going to be just like Ladie and Heidi, or it's going to be everyone. Everyone's going to have to go to the boards to keep New Mexico off the boards. The thing about that, though, is like New Mexico is really good at getting out in transition, and when you try to crash the boards, especially on the offensive end, that makes you a little vulnerable on the other end, right? And so I don't know how many offensive rebounds we're going to get, just because New Mexico plays at such a fast pace. And their last 5 games, it's 21% of their points are coming on the fast break. I mean, that is elite, best of the best, in college basketball. And they don't turn the ball over. They only turn the ball over 10% of their possessions. So, I mean, they're playing really, really good basketball right now. We can't turn the ball over. We've been really bad lately. You saw in that last game, we had up by 30, or we outscored them by 30 in the second half and had 12 turnovers. I've never seen that before. So those are the things: protect the ball, rebounding, and limiting the fast break points, and really getting out on those 3-point shooters on the fast break too. Colorado State in the first half just absolutely torched us because we were not picking up guys on the fast break. And they were getting a lot of open looks. Now back to House, like, can we just not give that guy any energy? and any attention. I mean, he is such an attention whore. You know, he just feeds off of that. That's what he lives off of. So like, we just need to ignore him. Like the show, I hope they don't have any signs that say house on it. You know, just get that newspaper, and every time he waves his hands or starts his antics, just put the newspaper up or look the other way. Just don't pay him any attention. That's how you do. That's how you neutralize.
I don't care.
Okay, we got to
He's
bring
looking for.
we have to bring in Flavor Guy from the show. Whoa. Now, Fiend's talking about don't make any signs towards house.
Yeah, I'm not in control of it, but I can advise them that they're they're their own entity. But I do kind of agree.
Every time he has the ball, you guys just put up some newspaper.
Then you're not going to be able to watch the game, man. I disagree. I disagree completely. Come on, Fiend. We are. Come on. The show is the show. You got to let them be who they are, man. You got to let them have some fun.
But see, that's what he feeds off, and that's when he plays his best. You're going to really get in his head if you don't give him that.
I mean,
you're going to totally throw him off his game.
Agree to an extent, but I feel like the difference between having one sign up that says house and not wouldn't be big. Now, if you had the entire show all going crazy on him and booing him, I think that'd be a big effect. But I think if it's just like there's a sign, I don't know if somebody's gonna make a sign. We haven't really had as many custom signs recently. I've got. I don't know.
Can we just agree? Can we just agree? Fiend needs to whistle during every time House has the ball.
Oh wow! What does that say?
I'm too weak to guard Ladi. I know it's getting cut off by the camera.
Well, I don't know what that. Oh, I see a Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I don't know, man. Like I don't. You can't just tell the students not to bug that guy. That dude feeds off. That dude feeds himself. If he gets a couple shots early in the game, he's gonna taunt the crowd.
I agree with Fiend strategically.
You know? No, it's not gonna happen. There's no way. There's
no.
You can't control it. You know, because people are going to react, and that's what he's trying to get is a reaction from the crowd.
We'll have like the you never
don't give them that reaction. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know how to stop that reaction. It's on the court by defending him. On the court by defending him. Has nothing to do with the fans. On the court, defend him, shut him down. That's gonna alleviate all that anxiety, because if he gets going, he's gonna initiate his own villainous ways, and he is the villain. I was reading an article on him earlier. He sounds like a great guy off the court. Father, everybody loves him. But it's like on the court, he's just like, it's crazy. So
he's an attention whore.
Yep. Yeah, well, some people are, bro. Some people are. You know what I mean? So
is that one of those things where you if you spot it, you got it?
Hey, man.
What'd you say? Takes one to know one? No.
Being always talking in the third person with his shades on.
I mean, we're the only one with a nickname, bro. Hey, so anyways, no, but like I just think it's gonna be a great game, and I'm just curious to see what because I mean, sometimes you just you got to be the villain. He's like, remember Evan Turner at Ohio State? That was his nickname, was the villain. So, hey man, you get a chance to play him at home. After being here, I guess they actually flew from Reno down to San Diego direct because they had the 8:00 game on Tuesday, so they got down to San Diego Wednesday. So they've been there. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great game, man. And like, I'll be curious to see how our guys play off that second half.
We got to out rebound them, and we got to be smarter on threes. I think. Yeah, just looking at a bigger picture past 5-6 games, not necessarily last game, but
we just got to play tougher.
Their shot selection and rebounds.
Yeah, play tougher.
Okay, Fiend, I disagree with you about all that stuff because I don't think that affects it. You're on the court. The guys are on the court. They're not looking at signs. They're playing ball.
Well, I disagree a little bit though, from the show perspective.
I get that. But Fiend, okay, talk about shots because I heard Coach Dave on that same interview. It was an awesome interview. Thank you for referring that to me. He was talking about how our 3-point shot selection, how it mostly works coming out of the paint. So getting those paint touches, kicking it out, and hitting those threes out there. Did you take anything from? Did you take any nuggets from anything he was saying there as far as our 3-point selection and their understanding of the metrics and all that good stuff?
I mean, if they understood the metrics, they'd know that we're shooting like 55% from the corner threes, but our 3-pointer, we only shoot, I think, 6% of our shots from those corner threes. So, you should be shooting way more shots from the corner threes and spacing the floor. And I think that's going to be really important, especially when you have really quick guards who steal the ball. If there's too much traffic, the ball gets stolen. Spread the court out. I don't necessarily agree with that strategy of going in and then passing out, because our interior guys are not usually our best passers. I think our best passers are the guards, and you want the ball in their hands making the decision. So I'll go back to what I've advocated for a long time, which is put Reese Waters in the right corner, put Micah Parrish in the left corner, put Jaden Ledee down low, and have him run pick and roll with Darian Trammell and Lamont Butler. And boom, now you've spaced the floor. You got your shooters in the right spot where they hit shots, and let's see the fireworks. But whatever.
Well, whatever. No, it's interesting take there, interesting philosophy there, because that's going to be a challenge. I think the game will be officiated a little differently, but that aggressiveness from their guards on the defensive end, on our offense, how are we going to react this go around? Because last game was not very good, But I think if they let Ledee play, I mean, he's unstoppable, and he's the conference's leading scorer. But it feels like when the refs don't want him to play, when they're not calling every time he gets hacked, that's when we struggle.
That's how I feel. Is they're like, oh, we're tired of blowing the whistle against him. We got to slow it down. It's like, no, he got fouled.
Right.
That's how I feel.
It's like
I think the home field. I think the home court environment does impact that. I think Ziegler has written about that. I think there is some truth to that. And I'm going to say this again. I said this on the last podcast. Aztec Nation needs to step up and show up for this game. Show out, be loud, and make it really difficult on New Mexico, like we did for Colorado State in the second half.
Absolutely, got to be loud. Got to be there. Got to be in their seats early from the beginning tip. That energy, it's got to be there. You can't afford to start off slow. Can't do it.
Do you guys not think it's there? Do you guys not think it's going to be there on a Friday night at 7:00?
It'll be better than the 6:00 start.
6:00 on a Tuesday is tough.
6 on a weekday on a non-Friday.
Tough with work and you California drivers being crazy down there and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I think you guys should have just left work earlier, but whatever, I would have. So 6:00 on Tuesday is rough, but 7:00 on Friday it's easier to get out early, right? Hey, I'm getting out early. I'm for the weekend. Tuesday is like, dude, it's Tuesday. So it's going to be there after that win. And then this game, you know what I mean? On a Friday night, it's going to be packed, dude. It's going to be electric, dude. We better
This game is so important. I mean, we both have 4 losses. If New Mexico were to beat us, they would have the tiebreaker over us for seeding in the Mountain West tournament. And, then they'd be 1 game up on us as well in the regular season conference standings. So this is a huge game. We need to win this game. And we gotta be from the start. We got to be hungry for this game.
Well, the Aztecs are undefeated at home this season. They've got a ridiculous win percentage at home over the last 3 seasons. New Mexico's going for their 5th straight road victory, so something's got to give, as we said. Win this game, and you got Utah State next Tuesday. Oh boy, it's setting up. A lot of for
big games, close conference.
Yes, sir. And another quick plug: next Tuesday, some of us Sons of Montezuma crew, we will be having a watch party down in the South Bay again. Our last watch party when we were in Reno, guys, they were up at Alesmith. Well, this coming Tuesday, we're going to be down at Stoney's Bar and Grill down in National City. It's a really cool. It's got like a McGregor's type of vibe. They got pool, they got a full kitchen, drink specials, and a lot of TVs. So we're going to be down there in the South Bay for all you guys and gals that are down in the South Bay or want to come down and watch a game with the live DJ and all of our energy that the EHOs and the Sons of Money bring. So that should be a lot of fun. Got to win this game first tomorrow night against New Mexico. Then we can have some real fun on Tuesday and just go nuts. Woo, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah, dude, this is going to be a big game because I think we're one of only 5 schools that have only quad 1 losses. We're only one of 5 schools.
I saw that.
So it's man, I'll tell you what, dude. Like this game is going to be wild. It's we got to win, man. You know what I mean?
And we have a lot of quad 1. I mean, because it's all of our losses, we have a lot of quad 1 losses too. I think we're 4-6 or something. So if we finish the season 4-9, they'll be like, well, look at whenever they play quad 1, look what happens.
Yeah.
So we got to pick up some more. We always get hot at the end of the year, so let's see if it happens.
Yeah, that'll be wild, man.
Yeah.
So hey, just keep winning at home, man. I think we're 85-11 since 2013-14 at home in Mountain West play. So, it's an important one. They're all important now. I mean, not every game is important, but the magnitude of these games ratchets it up everything because old boy is going to be like his hair on fire, wanting to win and just screw with everybody at our house. So. This is a great one, man. This is what sports is all about, dude. This is great because you just watch it. You're like, this is a great game, and you want to win the great games because to me, there's nothing fun about blowing somebody out. I think it's boring.
What a tight conference. I mean, there are like no bad conference games,
No, but these games are just
crazy. You're gonna have good teams, Nevada, New Mexico, SDSU, Utah State, Boise, Colorado State, type teams not playing in the in the semifinals. Or sorry, in the quarterfinals,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be tight, like you guys are saying. Whoever wins that thing, we need to give House the Stevens treatment and have Ledee outscore. Or sorry, we need to give New Mexico the Colorado State treatment and have Ledee outscore their entire team 2-1 in the second half. That's unreal. That's an unreal.
Justin, side note: next year, I would like you to actually dye your hair blonde. For the entire season. No more win.
That's a tall order.
Season, go blonde,
if we win a natty. If we win the natty this year.
All right, well, probably not going to happen.
And spike it.
Yeah, you got to do it, man. Yeah, YOLO, dude.
Red thing, like wig thing they gave a few games ago. I was thinking that, and I'm like, I'll keep it, on theme.
Oh, I love what T-Mac says. If the freshmen at UNLV can school House, then so can Butler. Okay. House has NBA DNA. Angel says, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think energy has anything to do with it. The guy can ball. All that is true. He's a son of a player. I didn't care for him in the Celtics. But anyways, it's gonna be a fun one. They got their 3-guard lineup. I'm more interested to see what happens down in the low blocks. Defense and rebounding. That's the mantra. That's the mantra for the game for me. Guys, thank you guys for joining. This was a lot of fun. I hope all you guys watching had a blast as well and take it to heart. Mesa Foundation, go check them out. Me and Fiends, we're gonna be there at the practice this weekend. That's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll give a report on that, how that went. If some of you guys are on the edge of being a Mesa Foundation member, we'll give you a little insight. And I'm looking forward to the game. Hopefully, we'll set up our Sons of Money canopy on campus hours before tomorrow's game, where we will have a select amount of black t-shirts available for purchase. Since it is a blackout, make sure you got your black on. So look for us, look for our canopy. Hopefully we'll be somewhere on campus. We'll do a little pop-up shop, let you guys know. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And the audio version, there you go. The audio version will be available on Spotify and all that good stuff in the morning. Woo! All right. Let's get it going.
Big game.
Let's get it going.
You know what the easiest way to win is? I think we're just going to just do that. If we score more points, I think we're probably going to win the game. But big game, good. Hey, it was great to talk to Jeff. I mean, I've never met him, never talked to him before, but it was interesting to see or listen to him and his the thought process and what he's doing and stuff like that. So hopefully I can have a beer with him sometime and just chat with him because he's doing a great job and we appreciate him taking the time to come on the podcast with us.
Yes. All right, everybody. On behalf of SD Sports Fiend, Aztec Flavor Guy, and Mike Tortalot, we are the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Like and subscribe today, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you after, hopefully, an Aztecs victory. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
See y'all. See you tomorrow.
There he is.